After signaling that they were willing to do anything possible to sabotage President Joe Biden's agenda, Senate Republicans are now supposedly upset that Joe Biden won't work with them. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Even as new reported coronavirus infections are dropping, things are still very bad and will likely stay that way for a while, with new, more transmissible variants identified. At this point, it's a race between the variants and the vaccines, and seeing as how the last administration left the vaccine rollout in chaos, with some getting tossed in the garbage and others missing altogether, there's a lot of work to do. I mean, the Trump administration passed on the opportunity to buy more vaccine when they had it. Such a simple solution, and they just missed it. If Trump ever tried an escape room, they'd just find his skeleton slumped over the first clue. Jesus, he's only been in there for an hour. Seriously, what was their plan? Send everyone a tin of Altoids filled with hydroxychloroquine? Wait for Redditors to drive up Pfizer's stock price? Mr. President, why did you short $1 million worth of Pfizer stock? I'm waiting for those GameStop nerds to drive up the price. But you're supposed to buy it, not short it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, quick, call my broker. Who's your broker? Okay, I'm going to tell you, but no judgment, it's Rudy. And I think he might be mad at this, too. I told him to short GameStop, and he showed up like this. They don't sell those shorts. He went out and had them made. Also, how does a life-saving vaccine just go missing? If Trump were part of an elite heist squad that stole the Hope Diamond, he'd immediately stuff it in his pocket, forget about it, and then throw it in the toll basket with the rest of his change. All right, guys, good news, bad news. Bad news, I lost the diamond. Good news is I've decided to get Easy Pass, which I think is going to be helpful for future heists. Also, bad news, I think I threw my driver's license in with the diamond, so stay away from the safe house, guys. States have been begging the federal government for more vaccine, which the Trump administration just didn't provide. But now, just a week into the Biden administration, significant progress has already been made.
Big announcement from the Biden administration today. They say they have purchased 200 million additional vaccine doses, which will be delivered over the summer, providing the U.S. with enough doses to vaccinate a total of 300 million Americans.
Wait, so it was possible to buy more vaccine this whole time, and Trump just didn't do it? I mean, what else was he doing? Having his gloves tightened? Was he working on his Jerry Lewis impression?
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Real nice find, Bass. I thought the one thing Trump was good at was buying things with money that wasn't technically his. I guess that explains that famous passage in The Art of the Deal: if ever presented with a chance to make a bulk purchase of a life-saving material at a negotiated discount, don't. Biden announced the plan to buy more vaccine on Tuesday and gave the American people a rough timeline of when they could expect the doses to arrive.
So today, I'm directing COVID-19 response coordinator Jeff Zients here to work with the Department of Health and Human Services to increase our total supply of vaccine for the American people. That's 100 million more doses of Pfizer and 100 million more doses of Moderna. 200 million more doses than the federal government had previously secured. We expect these additional 200 million doses to be delivered this summer.
So the president did a competent thing to address a crisis, announced it in clear and simple terms Americans could understand, and he offered a rough timetable so he could be held accountable. And he did it without barking at reporters next to a whirring helicopter about how some random celebrity was nice to him in 1987 or whatever. Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear, never met a chip shot he couldn't make. Real son of a bitch. Nasty guy. Nice to me, though. Heard they called him the bear because he in the woods. A lot of people are saying it. Look, Joe Biden is inevitably going to make mistakes, as all presidents do, and there will be times when we'll have to push him on progressive priorities and hold him accountable. But with all that said, it's just a relief to have competent administration of government again. People just want things to work. Instead, Republicans intentionally wreck things so they can turn around and say, look, government is bad, we should cut it. Ted Cruz basically says every day, do you really want a man like me making decisions for you? A man who every morning puts glue on his face, then walks to the nearest barber and rubs his cheeks in the clippings. And now, Republicans are eager to let Trump off the hook for inciting a violent mob to overrun the Capitol because he's popular with GOP voters. That's basically the point Lindsey Graham tried to make in an interview last night on Fox News.
Here now is Senator Lindsey Graham.
Whoa. Was that a pick, Lindsey, or were you doing a last-minute coronavirus test? Dang, I forgot my swab. Good thing I was born with 10 of them. Or maybe that was just the last place left he hadn't checked for his conscience. I mean, what are we going to do with it anyway? Keep it? Well, I find a good one. I keep it as a pet. This one's Bessie over here. This one's Clyde. And this one's Braxton Beauregard Bridgerton III. He's my best friend. Mama, when Daddy gets back, I'm going to show him my booger collection. What? What do you mean he's not coming back? Why? Oh, because of the booger collection. Well, I miss you, Daddy, but I made my choice. Anyway, I forgot why I was even going to play that clip. Oh, right. The day before that, on Tuesday, Lindsey Graham had a bone to pick if Democrats called witnesses in the impeachment trial and then threatened to prolong the proceedings.
If there's an effort by the Democrats to call a single witness in the United States Senate, they had no record in the House, there will be delay of this trial, there will be a Pandora's box being opened. We will want witnesses, and this thing will go on for weeks, if not months.
Oh, no, don't do that. Witnesses in a trial? What's next? Evidence? Lindsey Graham is so bad at threatening things, I wouldn't be surprised if he backed his way into calling Trump to the stand. If Democrats insist on calling witnesses, we'll have no choice but to call our own witnesses like Donald Trump himself. How would they like that? Well, they'd love it. Why? Because he will most certainly incriminate himself. Oh, Braxton Beauregard Bridgerton III, I have done it again. Now back in your menagerie. In fact, a thorough trial that brings out all the evidence would be a good thing. It was a violent insurrection to overthrow democracy, the first time the Capitol's been breached in 200 years. Nearly 140 police officers were injured during the riot. And you guys, supposedly the pro-police party of law and order, want to just move on and forget about it. Every time anyone tries to investigate Trump, you react like parents trying to wrap presents in the basement on Christmas morning. Don't come down here! Mommy and Daddy are having sex. Jesus, Steve, that just makes it worse. I didn't know what to say, I panicked, but should we? No! Impeachment aside, Republicans have pledged to do everything possible to stonewall and sabotage Biden's agenda, despite the fact that 50 Senate Republicans represent 41 million fewer Americans than the 50 Senate Democrats. Not to mention, they lost the House by a record margin in 2018, and their presidential candidate lost by over 7 million votes in 2020. They just lost 2 seats at the same time in Georgia, a longtime red state. And yet, instead of reflecting on how thoroughly they've been rejected by voters and why Republicans are actually pretending to be upset, the Democrats won't work with them. There's frustration on the Republican side that Biden, Chuck Schumer, and Democrats appeared headed toward taking a one-party approach to COVID relief. Oh, I'm so sorry you're frustrated. I mean, my goodness, we wouldn't want to upset noted advocate of bipartisanship, Mitch McConnell, who I'm sure is sitting by a rain-soaked window, silently staring out into the distance, wondering why no one across the aisle will work with him, only to remember that he's a cold-blooded assassin who destroys all opposition in his path, and only then will he smile. Seriously, when you were in power, you steamrolled Democrats every chance you got. You nuked the filibuster for Supreme Court nominees. You tried to ram through a last-minute Obamacare repeal without so much as a hearing. And you literally scribbled changes into the margins of a massive corporate tax cut in the middle of the night like a drunk writing his number down on a bar napkin. Why don't you call me sometime? Sir, you're talking to the jukebox. 2020 was the worst year for economic growth since World War II. Millions are unemployed, losing their health insurance, and falling into poverty as child hunger rises to unprecedented levels. It's the worst national catastrophe in a century, and it requires immediate action. We don't have time to indulge feigned victimhood and wounded egos of Republican senators. Thankfully, Democrats seem to understand the urgency of the moment and are moving quickly. Today's Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer promised bold action and said slimming down the COVID relief package would be irresponsible. And incoming Senate Budget Committee Chairman Bernie Sanders had said he has no qualms using budget reconciliation, a method that requires only 51 votes to pass a massive relief bill.
Reconciliation, which is a Senate rule, was used by the Republicans under Trump to pass massive tax breaks for the rich and large corporations. It was used as an attempt to repeal the Affordable Care Act. And what we are saying is, you use it for that, that's fine. You did it, we're going to do it, but we're going to do it to protect ordinary people, not just the rich and the powerful. And I criticize Republicans, for using reconciliation to give tax breaks to billionaires, to create a situation where large profitable corporations now pay zero in federal income taxes. Yes, I did criticize them for that. And if they want to criticize me for helping to feed children who are hungry or senior citizens in this country who are isolated and alone and don't have enough food, they can criticize me.
Yeah, I have a feeling GOP criticism doesn't make much of a dent in Bernie Sanders. Bernie, you're going to wear those mittens to the inauguration? You're damn right, these mittens are warm. And when you freeze to death, I'm going to wear these mittens to your funeral. I'm going to comfort your widow with these mittens. They're there. I'll say, now move. Bernie knows how to harness that grandpa energy for good. You had the remote all morning and you used it to watch cartoons. That's fine. But now it's my turn. And I'm going to use it to watch my cooking program on PBS called Just Beans, and that's it. This should be the message. The days of complicated Rube Goldberg legislation where you provide tax incentives for job retraining, for workforce reentry subsidies, or whatever the hell Democrats used to talk about are over. Keep it simple and make it sound good. Do it like Republicans do it. They'll write a bill that makes food illegal and call it the Feed America bill. Republicans use their time in power to dole out tax cuts for the rich. Democrats should use it to feed children and the elderly. And then they can pay for it by taxing corporations, billionaires, and all the gold Lindsey Graham digs up in his, Massive immediate relief and large structural change are required to improve people's lives and fix our deeply broken system. We don't have time to entertain the bad faith of Republicans who obviously have no interest in doing anything about it. Democrats need to move fast and ignore objections from Republicans intent on stonewalling. Otherwise, negotiations over the relief bill will
Go on for weeks, if not months.
This has been A Closer Look. God's Love We Deliver cooks and brings over 2 million meals a year to men, women, and children living with HIV/AIDS, cancer, and other serious illnesses, and they need your help now more than ever. If you're watching this online, you can hit the donate button. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask. We love you.